Welcome back everybody to a very special video. Today we're taking a look at things that my audience is reading, all right? So everything that my audience is reading for their June TBRs, all the collected edition comics that they have set up. I've got some submissions here. They post on my community wall, okay? So I'll leave that down below. Maybe people post their comic book calls as well. Leave that down in the communities and the community tab, and we'll be sure to do videos like this. I really appreciate the community feedback. But with that being said, I've got around 10 submissions here for things that my audience are reading in the month of June. And let's just get into it. So this first one I have from Nathan Bigelow, Tennis, his June TBR. He has already finished Invincible, Radiant Black, Outcast, and Aquaman so far. So a big chunk of reading already completed for the month of June. It's been awesome so far. Hopefully picking up the full Omni for Aquaman soon, so that Jeff Johns Aquaman omnibus looks to be on Nathan's wish list. But there we go. Let's take a look at some of the things on the list. Looks like you're finishing out Invincible. That's fun. You got some Hellboy there. I think that's the first, that's the start of Hellboy. So I've read that material. That's some great stuff. Great introduction to the Hellboy character from Mike Mignola. You have Batman Year One. Oh, it looks like two. I see that Bull Moose pre-owned tag. So that seems to me like you're a shopper of Bull Moose here in New England. So that's really fun. I like finding some great pre-owned stuff at Bull Moose. I see here you have Descender. That's cool, dude. Some Jeff Lemire, Dustin Wynn stuff as well. So yeah, a lot of great stuff here. Outcast, I've not read myself. The Last Ronin, I've only read the main series. I've not read When It Came Back or The Lost Years. So there we go, man. Some great TBR from Nathan there. Uncapped, okay? So Uncapped says, finished Terrifics already and halfway through Secret Six. Hope I finish everything on here. I would say you got a good shot, because if you've already finished the Terrifics, that's a big chunk of this, and then you're almost done with Secret Six. I feel like you'll rip through that Zatanna real fast. Ed Brubaker, Sean Phillips, you guys know I'm a big fan of Friend of the Devil. So that's a really great part of the Reckless series there. And I think this is a great TBR. I've been meaning to read that Secret Six Gail Simone Omni that I have on my omnibus shelf there. I've been meaning to read the Terrifics by Jeff Lemire. I was waiting on that one to be an Omni, but I might just buy the compendium, the complete collection that you show here. But yeah, I've not heard of Soviet Land either. Some stuff that I have to research. But there we go. From Uncapped, a great TBR. Scrolling down, we've got Marco. Marco says, got a classic Superman story that I've never read and always wanted to. Also the start to Jason Aaron's iconic Thor run, and 2 recommendations that I got from you and Kai during your monthly top 10 streams, New God and Escape. And trying to finish up Vagabond, which I started earlier this year. Love the vids, Cody. Top 10 comic creators easily. Well, thank you so much for the kind words and the fact that you get some recommendations from Kai and I. I love doing recommendation videos with Kai. So yeah, Escape and the New Gods, you guys know how I feel about those. I mean, that's some excellent stuff there. Vagabond, I've only read Vagabond, the first 3 in 1, but I loved it. I got to get back to Vagabond. What a cool world. What a cool and endearing character. I've not read Superman, The Death and Return. That's still something that I need to read. I know that it's such a monumental and pivotal Superman story, but I still haven't read it. But then you've got the Gore the God Butcher stuff. Man, that stuff in Jason Aaron's Thor it rips. It rips so hard. So I think this is a great TBR, man. That's an awesome TBR right there. And I like the fact that you have the Death and Return of Superman compendium, right? So that's probably how I would collect the event as well. So there we go. Nice TBR. Thanks for submitting and for the kind words, Marco. Let's continue. Let's look at Nicholas Gino Rio. He says, my June TBR, I've gotten through Exquisite Corpses, Absolute Wonder Woman, and We Stand on Guard so far. All are amazing, but the last one really stood out among the rest. Highly recommend. So as we're looking at your TBR, you got Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, getting ready for the movie. I think that's a great pick. Exquisite Corpses, the start of Exquisite Corpses, that's some awesome stuff from Tynion and Walsh. I think Exquisite Corpses, by the end of it too, they wrap that series up so well. You have some Philip Kennedy Johnson, Incredible Hulk. You have Geiger. That's some great stuff there with volume number 4. Okay, so that's pretty deep into the Geiger series. That's cool. You have Absolute Wonder Woman, The Last Amazon. That must be the number 1. That must be the first arc. So that's really cool. You're joining the rest of us reading Absolute Wonder Woman. And then some great Brian K. Vaughan stuff with We Stand on Guard. That's a series that looks like a hardcover. Is that a hardcover? Yeah, that looks like a hardcover. I'm on the lookout for that, man. I think that series sounds really cool. It's like I don't know, like a war between Canada and the US or something like that. So I think that We Stand on Guard is something that I want to read for sure. So I got to find that, but a great pick there. Fee the Best Vest. He says he has already read and shelved 6 other trades. The Batman, the Gotham Central Compact was peak this month, but these are what's left of the June TBR pile. Definitely need to reread Woman of Tomorrow before the movie drops. So see, we have here your TBR pile. Okay, so you have some Matt Fraction Batman. All right, that's awesome to see at the end there. Some great Jorge Jimenez artwork in there. The Automaton, not sure about that. We have Department of Truth, some great Tiny and stuff there. Another person reading Exquisite Corpses, so really cool seeing a lot of people jumping onto the Exquisite Corpses series. I've not read Huck, but I've heard Huck is good. Do a Powerbomb, excellent pick from Daniel Warren Johnson there. That's something that needs a deluxe edition. That needs a deluxe edition like yesterday, man. That's so sick. That must be volume number 1, I bet. And then you have The Night Eater. And The Night Eaters, I've not read that myself. And then Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, that's the deluxe edition. Nice pick there. What a beautiful collection on that. So hopefully you get a chance to reread before the movie, but that's an awesome TBR right there. Scrolling along, we got Jacob Klamoski. He says that the X-Men might go into the next month, but I'll give it the old college try. I think this is a great TBR here with Captain America. That's the Winter Soldier stuff that I've read from Ed Brubaker, Steve Epting on the art. So that's a great, epic collection on that. Assorted Christ events. Dennis Camp just killing it on the, story on that. Just such inventive comic booking there. And Zawadzki on the art, bringing it all to life. Assorted Christ events is my favorite anthology series. It's so good. Mouse Guard. I've heard good things about that. What a classic series, but I've not read it myself. Ascender. I've got to get back to it. I loved Descender number 1 and 2 in the deluxe editions. Jeff Lemire, Dustin Nguyen, what a classic story. I just got to finish it off with Ascender. And then you got the Uncanny X-Men, some Claremont Cochrane stuff. Couple more to go through, like Niklas. He says, my June TBR, currently on issue 10 of Animal Man. In only 2 reading sessions so far, I'm finishing up quick. And then I'm hoping to read Deadly Class, then 7 to Eternity, and wrap up the month with Planetary. Currently on summer vacation after finishing my 2nd year of med school, so trying to knock off some must-reads in my collection. So it's tough, I imagine, being a med school student, trying to fit in some time for some pleasure comic book reading. But here we have some Deadly Class. I got to get back to that. I still need to finish half of Deadly Class, like volumes number 3 and 4 in the deluxe editions. Planetary, I've heard so many good things about it. Rest in peace to John Cassidy. Everyone says it's some of the most beautiful artwork in comic books. Animal Man, if that's that's the stuff that I have read, so that's a good pick there with the Animal Man. 7 to Eternity, I've not read that yet from Rick Remender, but I still need to. I had that deluxe edition, the same one you have here in the picture, but I've not read it myself. But there we go, from Niklas. Braulio Espinosa, he says he lives in Mexico, so some of his readings are translated to Spanish, and some are the English versions. In this case, I'm reading Batman Dark Patterns, Immortal Hulk, and Strangers in Paradise in Spanish, and Monstrous is English translated. So excited to start reading Monsters. We have Strangers in Paradise, some Terry Moore stuff. I've not read it myself, but you always hear about it, so classic. Monstrous, I've not read either, but one of those legendary Image comic series that I cannot hear enough good things about, or I hear a lot of good things about. Immortal Hulk, with that Spanish translation, that's cool. And then Batman Dark Patterns, another Spanish translation, if I'm not mistaken. Really cool format on that. Looks as big as the deluxe edition. So overseas, man, in other countries, you guys get some cool collections. But there we go, Batman Dark Patterns, an excellent story, of course. Last one we got is from Jack Whittle. Shout out to Jack Whittle for starting this whole thing, giving me the idea to do this for a video. He says, my June TBR, TMNT Last Ronin Volume 2, New 52 Batman and Robin Volume 3, currently reading all of Batman and Robin and Nightwing. Last but not least, I chose Everything Dead and Dying from Image and read Hood the Hill by Martin Bro. So we have The Last Ronin, Everyone's really excited about The Last Ronin. Looks like this is the re-evolution. That's the sequel series when it came back. We have Batman and Robin, Death of the Family. That's some cool Tomasi Gleason stuff there. Everything Dead and Dying, one of my favorite zombie stories of all time. Really great stuff from Sean Phillips on the art, but Tate Bromwell writing it. And then Red Hood the Hill. I've not read it myself, but I hear that's a pretty good Red Hood series. But yeah, with that being said, shout out to Zach Whittle for starting this trend, and shout out to everyone who was nice enough to submit their TBRs to my community settings. We'll have to do this video every single month. I'm not sure, but let me know what you guys are thinking about it down in the comments. And while you're down there, like if you like, sub if you love. If you really like, you can hype it. All that good stuff. Likes and hypes are greatly appreciated. And I do got to say too, shout out to all the members out there, man. So if you guys are members to the channel, part of the Wednesday Warriors Club, my plan is to provide some early videos for members, and then they go live at the regular time for everybody else. And then also we're doing members only giveaways. I'll give you guys like a bunch of choices for collected editions. If you guys win that month, you can pick from a list of some great collected editions. I'll mail it out to you. Next month we'll choose a new winner, but that's what we're going to start doing in the month of July. So shout out to all the members that are so nice enough and so gracious enough to give me the opportunity to talk about comics, man. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, and read more comics.